good. I just like when folks have like, I mean, it's a conversation. I don't want it to feel like
man.
It's like it's scripted and all that. Like I did my research. Like I got some questions for you, but
for sure,
for the most part, it's just like the way I started this was just kind of like, just playing around, just like with my buddies. Like, hey man, let's start, chopping up, because so many conversations we be having. It's like, man, the folks heard this, and then you start to realize like when you hoop and you coach, man, all of us are saying the same thing. And so it's like when more people can kind of experience that, even like with parents, it's like what I'm doing in my program is gonna probably be the same thing he doing in his program, and all of this stuff is universal. So I wanted to try to create like a little platform for that, and then kind of bring in like my old high school coaches, old coaches that I played with, to see what's the difference between like daytime and like this time. And then I use this to teach my kids, because I be thinking like they think a lot of times like, that Jason Tatum came out of nowhere, or Bradley Beal came out of nowhere. It's like, nah, man, we had studs way before these guys was making like headlines in the NBA ranks. It's like, where you think they got it from? So it's part of like education, because I tell folks a lot of times.
Back to JoJo White, bro. All the way back that far. St. Louis have had it, and Detroit got a rich basketball history. You can make it from anywhere. And it's about, you don't need a lot of luck to make it to that level. But, I try to sell them on D-Free, man. Like, you need a lot of luck to get it. You're 6'10", bro. I mean, right. 6'10" and can move like a 6'1" guard. You know what I'm saying? So yeah. I don't mean to cut you off, but yeah, like what you said was like, this ain't new. This ain't just because of what you heard of the last 10 years. Like, nah, man, it's been around for forever.
Yeah, for sure, man. So that's how we gonna do it, man. So, man, welcome to the podcast. It's Coach Bryan Turner. I got a Michigan legend up in here, man.
Oh no.
He look no, because I'm gonna give you your flowers, because a lot of times when I have folks on here, man, you making an impact, whether if nobody has told you or not, because man, people be watching, man. Folks pay attention. So I'm giving you your flowers, man, right now. I know, you kind of, I ain't gonna even say new to St. Louis, because you kind of got your feet buried into some rich history, man. Some accomplishments. Good. I just like when folks have like, I mean, it's a conversation. I don't want it to feel like it's just,
man.
It's like it's scripted and all that. Like I did my research. Like I got some questions for you, but
for sure,
for the most part, it's just like the way I started this was just kind of like, just playing around, just like with my buddies. Like, hey man, let's start, chopping up, because so many conversations we be having. It's like, man, the folks heard this, and then you start to realize like when you hoop and you coach, man, all of us are saying the same thing. And so it's like when more people can kind of experience that, even like with parents, it's like what I'm doing in my program is gonna probably be the same thing he doing in his program, and all of this stuff is universal. So I wanted to try to create like a little platform for that, and then kind of bring in like my old high school coaches, old coaches that I played with, to see what's the difference between like daytime and like this time. And then I use this to teach my kids, because I be thinking like they think a lot of times like, that Jason Tatum came out of nowhere, or Bradley Beal came out of nowhere. It's like, nah, man, we had studs way before these guys was making like headlines in the NBA ranks. It's like, where you think they got it from? So it's part of like education, because I tell folks a lot of times.
Back to JoJo White, bro. All the way back that far. St. Louis have had it, and Detroit got a rich basketball history. You can make it from anywhere. And it's about, you don't need a lot of luck to make it to that level. But, I try to sell them on D-Free, man. Like, you need a lot of luck to be in it. Jason Tatum hit the physical lottery. He's 6'10", bro. I mean, right. 6'10" and can move like a 6'1" guard. You know what I'm saying? So yeah. I don't mean to cut you off, but yeah, like what you said was like, this ain't new. This ain't just because of what you heard of the last 10 years. Like, nah, man, it's been around for forever.
Yeah, for sure, man. So that's how we gonna do it, man. So, man, welcome to the podcast. It's Coach Bryan Turner. I got man, a Michigan legend up in here, man.
Oh no.
He look no, because I'm gonna give you your flowers, because a lot of times when I have folks on here, man, you making an impact, whether if nobody has told you or not, because man, people be watching, man. You know, folks pay attention. So I'm giving you your flowers, man, right now. I know, you know, you kind of, I ain't gonna even say new to St. Louis, because you kind of got your feet buried into some rich history, man. You know, some accomplishments that a lot of folks haven't had a chance to even sniff, you know, to be around. So this, from me to you, man, I'm giving you your flowers. And then for my audience though, because man, you at a tough school, man. If for my audience, for folks that don't know, man, head coach at U-City Lions basketball program, Jerome Douglas, man. Welcome to the show. Hold on, let me see if I get some bells and whistles over here, man. Can you hear all of that?
Yeah,
all that
good stuff,
yeah.
I appreciate it. I appreciate it, man. No, I've been following your pod for forever. I listen to a lot of pods, so I'm, you know, I ain't no liar, so I ain't gonna get on here and say I listen to every episode, you know. But when I get a chance to, or you know, I need something, or I find something that interests me, I definitely download, or I always download, because I know in the podcast game that always count. You know what I'm saying? And I get a chance to listen when I can. And you just, you know, like I said before when we was talking, like, you know, you kind of open up the space in the area for coaches, you know what I'm saying? And you're doing something for your city to cultivate the knowledge and pass it down throughout generations. And I respect that a whole lot. I respect it a lot.
Man, appreciate it, man. Because so let's jump into your story, man. First and foremost, man, let's talk about Camp 8. How did you come up with that concept? What's the premise of it? What are you trying to accomplish with that? And tell the audience.
So, you know, we all got group chats, right? You got, like you just said, you was talking to your buddies, and you know, y'all, you know, talk about sports all day, and you know, it's no different with us. We got a bale of different characters. We're trying to get all of them up to speed, you know, to bring all of them on as much as possible. But me and my uncle been talking about sports. Like, we talk every single day. You know what I'm saying? We talk about sports every day. And people have asked us, like, yo, three-way me on the phone when y'all talking about this, because what y'all do is fun. So it kind of started with him, and then my cousin, who, you know, Theo, that we talk trash about sports. He a little bit more available than Unc is, and he was like, man, let's do it, you know. And I'm like, because I need a co-host. I'm not Bomani Jones or Colin Cowherd. You know, I know you follow them, but they solo host of the show. They get a little bit, but you know, you got to be a different level of talent, just solo do a show. And you even do it sometimes. I give you props for that. I can't do the solo. I need that banter back and forth. So Theo came on, my cousin TJ, he came through, my brother comes through, and we just, like you said, bringing the group chat out into the light is entertaining. We're trying to find exactly what our niche is, and it really was inspired by, I've been watching and listening to sports radio since I was like 12 years old. Just for some reason, I just gravitated towards it. And PTI was my first like real sports show I really followed. And then I want to say around like 2012, I got hip to the Dan Lebatard show. Okay. And Dan whole thing was, he wanted, like, he said that he used to guest star on PTI. He was like, man, the back door, like what they doing in the back room is more interesting than what Tony and Mike is putting on camera. And I'm like, you know, that's exactly how I kind of feel. Like, what we doing every day, the trash talk we, you know, have in the group message, you know, and having sports conversations is more entertaining than a lot of shows I've come across in my lifetime. You know what I'm saying? And we can just hit, you know, if we can make ours look like that and bring it to the audio, then when we do that, as far as the name, you know, are you a fan of the movie Life?
Oh, come on now, man. Welcome to Camp A, boss. Okay, now I get it. I got it.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So look, Easter eggs
that's
about
dope.
The culture. You know what I'm saying? And I try to do that type of stuff a lot. You know, I try to connect the cultures, because I don't want to just be solely just a basketball or just a sports podcast.
That's
you know,
good.
we want to branch out into other things. So we started doing the Black Rewatchables. We did New Jack City. We did Minister Society. We're doing Above the Rim next when we, get our ducks in a row the right way. We did Scarface. So we just try to, be an entertainment podcast, have a little bit for everybody to have, whenever they show up, they can find something that they gravitate towards.
Right. No, I think that's dope, man, because I think a lot of times, man, people think that because we in education, man, we coach, like we like some dinosaurs, like we don't relax, we don't kick back, And I'll be paying attention to you, man. I know you're a secret nerd, man, and
for sure.
It's not,
I mean,
it's not. But I ain't even gonna say it's that's what I'm finna say. It ain't really a secret.
Yeah.
So before we even jump off into like your early years, like let's talk about that. Like, did you ever see like the day that and I don't know, and we can talk about Michigan, like in St. Louis and stuff, but for me growing up, like all the hip guys, the dudes who was driving the cars early, had all of the jewelry, the girls and all of this stuff, a lot of people gravitated to that scene to where, the dudes who, I played with wrestling, man, comic books, colored, like did all the like the stuff because I wasn't trying to jump off the porch too early. Yeah. I just enjoyed, my childhood. Like, to be honest, I grew up in North St. Louis, but like my childhood was good. You know what I'm saying? Like I can't complain about, you got some trenches and some trench babies, but I ain't finna sit up here and lie and say I was a trench baby like that. You know what I mean? So people around me was just like, man, dude, be a kid as long as you can. Because once you step off into the real world of manhood and adulthood, you can't go backwards. So talk about that. Did you ever think that it would be a time where like you can see like the nerdy guys winning and then the guys who were super duper hip, them the dudes that's the bombs nowadays? I mean, do you kind of peep that, or is that something that you don't really trip off of?
Yeah, no, I didn't trip off of it because, when you're growing up in that environment, I think you can kind of speak to this too. Like, you don't know that you're different. Like, this is what I know. This is what I am. You know what I'm saying? So, and I had to give a lot of credit to my mom. You know what I'm saying? She said it so much that I didn't realize there was another option until I was a junior year in college. And what she said was, you're going to play basketball and you're going to graduate from college. She used to say that so much, bro. Like, I swear to God, it didn't really compute. It's hard to explain. I really didn't take into account, like, yo, like once I'm 18, I'm a grown man. Like, I ain't got to do this if I wanted to. You know what I'm saying? It was just there. And by the time when I realized that I was a junior in college, I'm like, well, I'm this far. I might as well finish. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it was instilled in me. And she was that parent that, like you said, we was always in sports because we was actually the youngest out of like the group. You know what I'm saying? She had me at 32. She had my brother at 29. And in those days, you're an older parent at that time. So, when I'm 12, 13, she is 45 years old at that point. You know what I'm saying? So she got experience, and she had a brother that got killed over drugs. She had another brother that spent years in prison. She had a nephew that got killed at Skateland, you know what I'm saying, over a beef. And she didn't want us in that, even though we was in that. You know what I'm saying? Like, right. I not to go into too many stories, but just to give you a microcosm, like, I grew up in the neighborhood of 48205 was the most dangerous zip code in America throughout the time I was growing up. We heard gunshots outside my door regularly. Like, sometimes you had to hit the floor, but it really was just judged on how close to those gunshots. You know what I'm saying? Like, they really had to be. I heard it so much, like I could judge. Like, if that's outside my window, then yeah, we got to get down on the floor. A bullet might come through here. You know what I'm saying? Right. You know, and I've showed my players pictures of my crib. Like, I grew up in a shotgun house. People don't know what a shotgun house is. Through the front door, out the back is one straight line.
Oh, okay.
You feel me? So you shoot a shotgun through the door, it goes straight out the back.
Mm-hmm.
That's how small our crib was. And it wasn't just me, my mom, my brother, my stepdad there. It was my cousin stayed with us.
There you go. Talk about it.
My mom bought a minivan when we was growing up because she wanted to be team mom. Or I can transport 5 or 6 players at a time, and they can stay at my house and sleep on the floor, and I'm gonna feed them. I'm gonna make sandwiches for a roll. So she was that mom, and she would, we was blessed enough that we had enough, but it never felt like I was in poverty. And once you get older, like, oh no, we was poor, like we was for real poor, like, because the first pair like real set of clothes, like a lot of clothes that I bought for myself was like when I was like 22. Like other than that, like I was like grabbing my brother's stuff and hemming them up, you know what I'm saying? Because it just wasn't like that for us. You know what I'm saying? I was talking to the guy the other day, the first vacation I took that didn't have basketball involved was I was 28 years old. My wife set it up. You feel me? Everywhere else that I went was because we're going to Orlando, AAU Nationals down there. We're going to Tennessee, AAU Nationals down there. We're going out to Ohio. We're going to Indiana because of basketball.
Right.
You feel me? So it's no really like turn off. Like it wasn't separated till I got older. And like you said, once you get older, it's like, oh, like those guys that was doing that, they not in the same position as me. They might have won early. They had all the jewelry. I knew I was around guys 16, 17 years old, bro, and they whipping out a wide, like they out here like that. And with them same guys, they done did a stint in prison, and they not necessarily bad guys. They just wasn't blessed as much as me to have a parent that was older and understood the game. Like, nah, like it's dead or in jail for that game. And that's what her thing was.
Do you feel like you coach that way? You feel like you have a sense of like you pour a lot of it into like how can I put it, where where you came from and how hard it is, and a lot of our players probably or you never know what situation they're coming to a school with, or do you treat them with that same type of grace as far as like, hey, I know things may be tough for these 2 hours or however long we in here, I want your mind at ease, let's just get to it. Or you a different type of coach in that approach where you're trying to show them something different? Like, kind of explain that.
So, and it's funny you say that because I was just coming back from meeting with RJ. Me and him always go out to dinner before the preseason. We always usually play early in the season. We know we get busy, so we won't see each other much. So we usually go out, and we was just talking about it. Like, I got a player right now. This player actually, very close to you as well, and I'm giving him some grace right now because I know his situation isn't optimal. He don't have the backing that I had. And I know you're just a kid. I'm not going to judge you as a grown man. People still got to give me grace. And I know better and I'm smarter, but people still give me grace even today. You feel me? So I'm not putting grown man expectations on them, but everything got a leash. You know what I'm saying? And I've talked to him about what that leash entails, and we'll see. But I would say overall, for sure, like I got kids that's in different situations. I got a kid that I for sure, when he graduates, he will not be in St. Louis anymore. I guarantee it, because I know what your situation could become. You know what I'm saying? So I am going to remove you from my whole thing. When I left, I could have went to Macomb College, which is 7 miles from my crib in Detroit. I could have went to Schoolcraft College, which was 20 minutes from my crib. And I went to a JUCO in Battle Creek because it was an hour and a half, which isn't crazy, but it was enough where I couldn't go home every weekend. I wasn't, I had to find an apartment and whatnot, because all the other school, I could have stayed at the crib and, went to school.
You would be home. You would be home. Your foot, you'll be straddling the fist. 1 foot to be in the hood, 1 foot to be at school. Because I had them same type of conversations with a lot of my partners in the hood. They like, hold up, man, you in college, right? Like, why are you here? And it just kind of, it just hit me at once. I'm like, man, you're right. And that's what folks want to see. They like, look, if you one of the lucky ones that's able to, whatever your talent is, and you can get out, get out. You know what I'm saying? Like, this stuff is going to be here. And that's kind of like what I was saying just about the whole, to kind of bring it back to just like the nerddom type thing, is like, so many kids nowadays are so, well, at least how it used to be back probably like 10, 15 years ago, but it was just so, you were trying to be caught up in the like you had to have a hard knock life type story growing up. But
Mm-hmm.
even when you start to watch the way the NBA is playing out in colleges, and folks are tired of dealing with that mess that a lot of that stuff comes with. You know what I'm saying? So when folks have kids, and I'm saying a lot of my buddies where their kids are getting at a certain level, getting recruited, but they were always the parents that was like, no, my son is not, he's not gonna have a cell phone, he's not gonna do this, he's not gonna do that. But I see why, because the league, they picking up mostly these guys or NBA parents, or parents that played at a high level or getting the opportunities now that, because if I'm making an investment in a kid, I want to look what your mother doing, what your father doing. And if I was to put anything in your hand, I want to know that you coming to practice the next day.
Come on,
or
man.
you going to get this and we ain't going to see you no more.
Come on, man.
So that's kind of like, my whole little pet peeve of the stuff that's going on. But this is about you though. I want to know about what's going Tell us about
speak.
Go ahead.
To speak to the nerdum, because I want to make sure I cover that. For me personally, like that's just me as a person. Like any of my friends from the Camp 8 group, like they'll tell you, like, dude, my brother always tell you, dude, do what he want to do. Dude don't care what nobody think. Like they'll tell you all rip. So I was in the Dragon Ball Z when they was in the kicks and stuff like that. Like I always was on a different lane. Like I stopped buying toys, like physical toys, like the actual toy, not the statues. And again, if Clayton Jackson see this, he's gonna say they toys. They're not toys, they statues. I stopped buying toys. Okay. So I stopped buying those like 13, 14. My guys, I was around guys that never got toys ever. Right. You feel me? Like, so I always went to what I like. What I like is what I like.
Exactly.
What make the difference for what you want to do? You know what I'm saying? Like I don't get it. As far as like Harper Woods though, like go ahead.
No. I want, like I said, this is about getting folks caught up to speed to you. Yeah. I want to know as far as, because I feel like a lot of coaches, a lot of guys our age, we kind of grew up pretty much we experienced some of the same things growing up, idolizing certain folks, enjoying certain things, especially when it comes to the basketball side. But I just wanted to know, as far as how was growing up and picking a school like Harper Woods, how was your experience during those days?
So I grew up in mostly Catholic school and middle school, and during that time the Catholic schools on the east side was kind of shutting down. We had a school that was like, it's so similar, right? So imagine St. Mary's, but it was actually closing. Like it was actually like ran down. Nobody else gonna build it up. That was East Catholic that we had in Detroit. We had a school on the west side that was like akin to like if somebody had a school, you live in St. Louis, but you got this Catholic school in, North County, right? We had a school on the west side of Detroit, DePores, that was a sports powerhouse. Like all-time great guys went there. We had another school at Bishop Gallagher. So, I got an older brother, and he was a man. Like my brother growing up, he is the talented one. Like this dude was, damn near dunking in 8th grade, was a star. You know what I'm saying? So he ended up getting hooked up with this coach to recruit him at Harper Woods. So imagine a suburban school like Ladue, and didn't have any real basketball history, but they got a coach that played pros overseas, and he went like, yo, I'm about to win some basketball games. So I'm going to get this kid. So they got my brother. It's a school where you got to get a school address in the district. And my mom, man, I just give it a lot of credit to her because she made the sacrifices of getting an apartment out there because they was on that. It wasn't no just using the address and we good. Like it wasn't that type of party. Like they following people home. Where you going at the school? So we got an actual apartment out there. Oh, you can't tell us we don't live with. This is where we, this is where we at. And the other part that she taught us was like, yo, I want y'all to get acclimated with dealing with white people early. You know what I'm saying? Just interacting with them, just being culturally diverse. You feel me? So
yeah, no, because the world is not like an all black school, like
no.
You got to be, if you're trying to make some moves, you got to be able to learn how to, talk to folks, be around folks, and be comfortable in your own skin. But go ahead.
Yeah. So in the school when my brother first got there, because he's 3 years older than me, so when my 9th grade was his senior year, it was only like 40 black kids there, 50, 55 total minorities, period, in there. So by the time I got there, it was closer to like 30, 40%.
Okay.
And it just grew from there. Like we just kind of like people figured out, like, instead of paying these Catholic school prices, we don't have a lot of Catholic schools. We don't have the amount of private schools that's in St. Louis. Like, that's just not in Detroit. Like, especially not at that time. It's mostly public education. But you got to move to these school districts. And, people wanted better for their kids, so they moved to the school district. So, we got there, and my crew then, man, like, we basically just took over this conference. Like, I just remember back then, man, because of everything going on in Detroit public schools, Denby, King, Cass, their games used to be at 4:00, the varsity games, because in the winter.
What time school letting out?
Man, they getting out of school and at 4:30, and they get into the game, because we're not about to have Osborne versus Finney at 7:00 on a Friday night. Not happening. Right. Not happening. You feel me? Not around those times. So our games was at 7. So they used to have their games, and our building used to be packed because, I was from there. My man Bruce, he from there. My man Dan, my brother, we all know these people. We play with these people. So we from their neighborhoods and shit like that. So they coming through to our games at 7:00, and we selling out the house because it's a great brand of basketball too, because we got a squad, and we playing against, in the summer, we not ducking any smoke. We playing against public school teams. We played against, I know you probably remember these names because we grew up around the same time, but Joe Crawford and Malik Harrison, both McDonald's All-Americans. We scrimmaging them. You know what I'm saying? Denby had 3-4 D1 basketball players. My cousin Daryl Garrett was a D1 player. We scrimmaging them. We all always playing all these schools other than our conference schedule. So it was like, bro, it was a ball for me. Like, high school really, really was fun. But the downside of that was I didn't get the coaching that I needed to develop as a player. My coach had young girls at the time that was hoopers. He kind of was more into developing them. He put in the minimum amount of time with us. Like, our practice used to be literally scrimmaging all day.
Okay.
No weight room.
You think it was he just a like a certified teacher in the school building and had that title for a long time and they just gave it to him, or it just caught him at the wrong time because he had kids?
That was the key, bro. He wasn't into working that hard. Like, he worked hard on his daughters. His daughter ended up going to the University of Michigan. So he did the thing with that, but he just didn't spend the time on it like that. We were super talented, super talented for our ages. But to get to the long term, this, like, you know how many kids are super talented as a high school guy, but didn't develop all the way, didn't develop their bodies the right way, didn't develop, I couldn't go right for a long time. Didn't develop that part of my game because we didn't practice. We just played.
Just hooping. It was just instinct, hooping, roll the ball out there. Let's see what you got.
We didn't have plays. We We was just out there on the like no baseline out of bounds, nothing. We just knew how to. We just played so much, and the part that's getting lost in the sauce is, like, with these same guys, we used to go to, 7th, 8th grade. We used to go to the park at 10:00 in the morning. The park is lined around the park with people waiting to get on at 10:00 in the morning. So you get on, bro. We got the win,
right?
We got the win because we're not getting back on the court till like 12:00 if we don't.
Man, pack your bag, throw it over your shoulder. It's a wrap. We see you later.
So now we gotta travel somewhere else because we ain't got nothing. We ain't got no phone. We ain't got nothing else to do. We gotta go somewhere else to go find the next run, right? So. Right. With a competitive spirit, and me and you done hooped together a couple times, with a competitive spirit for me coming in at, bro, you got to lock him up.
Mm-hmm.
You can't be giving them no buckets. And I don't think our kids had it. You know what I'm saying? They don't have that competitive drive because they not at the courts and they not playing. We used to go out to Lake Shore. The white boys used to be out there. Yo, that's a different style of ball. We go up to Rosa Parks in the hood. It might be an old drunk dude out there that can't play a lick of basketball, but drive on him if you want to. Drive to the rack on him if you want to.
Man, you had to learn how to watch the ball coming off. You had to learn how, especially if you got a hoop, they got that big pole in the middle. Man, you better come to that jump stop and jump straight up in the air. Ain't no jumping out. You know, that cats jump out to go do this cute stuff. Man, you finna run right into that pole. Or, like you said, man, these cats, you better call your foul or it's not a foul because it's 30 cats over there waiting to get on. And you ain't finna be the one stopping or slowing up the game, calling foul every time, man. You better learn how to play through it or it ain't a foul. So, I'm here.
They look at me crazy today, BT. They look at me crazy today because when we hoop on a weekend and guys be giving guys, I'm like, what is that? He don't call it. You don't get it. What are we talking about? You got to call the foul. Dude, what are we doing? And they be looking at me crazy. I'm like, bro, that's just how I was raised. If you don't call it, you don't get it.
Man. So, all right. So Kellogg College. So tell us about that. So, because there's one thing that I'm intrigued about with like even like the Detroit. So I watch a whole lot of old Detroit videos and stuff. And at the time, you know, if folks know the history of Detroit, like Detroit was like a world capital when it comes to automobiles. But even like the structures of the schools and how they made, man, y'all schools were made to hold almost like 3,000, 4,000 kids, man. It was like so many people that I used to see like old games of like people playing in certain places. And I'm like, man, damn, that's a public school? And they like, yeah, the public school holding 5,000 people. So you got a battle between, so making a team, I can just imagine was just tough back in the day, but that's just one thing that I'm just, you know. So you won 2 back-to-back district championships, scored 1,000 points, and then you transition to Kellogg Community College. Do you think the not having the coach kind of on y'all back, trying to tell y'all like the ins and outs, you kind of didn't take school as serious, and that's how you ended up in junior college? Or how did the junior college route play into this?
Yeah, so like I said, I'll piggyback off my brother's name. My brother at the time, when I was a junior, he was at Eastern Michigan. I just got the starting point guard job. So Central Michigan came through and they offered me a scholarship. And I went and took the SATs and I didn't get high enough grade to match my grade, my GPA. So we ended up having to pivot. And honestly, bro, like I had Schoolcraft and Macomb Community College on me, and my vice principal, Mr. Gray, he took me to Kellogg, and he took me to Kalamazoo Valley. And this is 100% how it went. We drive down there because it's like a 2-hour drive to Kalamazoo. That's where they make and Kellogg. That's where they make the cereal at. For everybody that don't know.
Oh, so that's the actual town of the Kellogg cereal company?
Battle Creek is the town name, but Kellogg that's where their headquarters at. So when I was there, you waking up in the morning, bro, and you would smell Fruity Pebbles sometimes. I swear to God. Like literally just walk outside like, damn, like Fruity Pebbles. Or every once in a while, it would smell like burnt toast because they was like burning stuff up. But that's beside the point. So it was a Saturday. He take me out there. He say, Kalamazoo Valley got a half scholarship for you to go there. All right, cool. He's like, so we're going out here. We're going to visit Kalamazoo Valley. And then Kellogg got an open gym. You can go play with them. And they don't really have nothing. No, matter of fact, it was reverse. Kellogg had a half scholarship. Kalamazoo Valley didn't have anything. Kellogg got an open gym. You go out there and play. And then we'll see what's going on. So I go out there and play. And I wasn't even a scorer in high school like that. I was a defender because I just never developed my offensive skill. And you know, and we know, defense about who want to work hard.
Yeah,
I just always, gotta have heart and gotta want to work hard and want to like put in the effort. So I'm talking about, bro, I went like 6 straight games. I'm talking about I'm getting buckets, I'm hitting pull-ups, I'm getting game winners. And then I got scratched over my eye, and my teammate who actually ended up at Lindenwood with me, and he was at Kellogg. He was looking at me like, bro, like, you this cold? I'm like, not really, bro, but I need this scholarship. I gotta have it. You know what I'm saying? So that was just all my mind. Like, I had an out-of-body experience, straight up and down. Like, bro, I gotta have this. I swear, BT, we on the way back to Detroit. Kellogg called and say, we got a full scholarship for you if you sign right now. He hung up the phone. 20 minutes later, Kalamazoo Valley, somehow the word got back to them. Yo, we got a full scholarship too. I don't know what dude just did at that open gym, but we got a full scholarship too. And I was just like, nah, man, like Kellogg kind of had some money for me too, like off rip, so I'm gonna go there. And that was the end of it. Like that. That's literally what I based the decision on, was just straight up loyalty. Like I'm loyal to a fault sometime, and I'm like, y'all, they had some money for me. They had the open gym. I met the coach and stuff like that, so I'm going with them. And that was the end of it, bro. And went there and had a really good team there. We just faced some powerhouse. Like Mott was a big community college then. Like we faced them in the regional finals twice, and they just had monsters. Like they had guys that should, back in those days, you had guys that should be at D1s, but they didn't have the scores. Now you don't really hear about that no more. The guys not qualifying or whatever, being at Division One. But Jay was just way better than us.
Oh man, no. So I'm just going through, man. This kind of dope, man. Just looking in when folks get a chance to hear this, like, cause talking about like just being loyal and when things are presented to you right then and there, kind of making it or going about it like a business decision. And I think a lot of times with our kids, the better coaches, like if you can kind of start telling these guys like, man, look, you got to treat basketball like a business, the way you take care of your body, the things that you do. And then when people try to present you with certain things, and if it's not in the best interest of your business, then you shouldn't move in that direction. So hats off to you. So when you saying like, hey, look, this is an opportunity for me. I actually came here, worked hard, and they have it for you. Looking at it as like it's a business transaction. And so you leave there, you spend some time in Kansas City, and then you go to Lindenwood. Is that correct? So how was the Lindenwood transition and basically coming to Missouri? Was it a big change from Detroit, Kansas City, and then now you in St. Charles? Like, how does that work?
Well, our college campus is kind of like separated from everything too. So how I got to Lindenwood was this. I was at Avila in Kansas City, and we played against Lindenwood at Avila. And I'll never forget this. We playing, and I was playing against this point guard, the opposing point guard, Andre Dixon. And he told me during the game, he said, it was toward the end of the game, we were losing. He said, man, you could do a whole lot more. But he said it like kind of condescending, like kind of little dog me. I just look like what? He's like, yeah, man, like you got the skills to do a lot more. I'm looking like, okay. So I just put that in the back of my mind, like, okay, whatever. Okay, bet. So then we go to Lindenwood later on. Now, when we go to Lindenwood, this is literally before they put up all the dorms. Like, so we go there to play against them, like they developing all this stuff. I'm looking around the campus like, damn, like they campus way better than Avila's. This is honest to God, Troy. This is the best tape I got. I still got it on DVD and my we still got the little DVD thing.
Right. I'm here.
I had 17, 12, and 11 against them. And it was 100% fueled by this dude, like, slighting me. Like, oh, you think I could do more? Here come a triple-double for you, my dude. Here come a triple-double for you at your spot. Dang. So then we get out of there towards the end of the season. This is the worst year of basketball. We had a losing record. This is the only time I had a losing record ever in basketball as a player. I had my best game against him, and I literally went on Lindenwood website and filled out like one of those prospect things. I swear to God.
He was like, man, I'm on it, man.
I gotta get out of here. I gotta get out of here. And I'm like, I had the best game against them, whatever. And Coach Chirpcat, he took him to the Final Four a couple years before. He called me. He's like, "Oh, I'm recruiting your homeboy from Kellogg too." we definitely want you. Like, I mean, he's seen it firsthand. He like, this dude had a triple double.
He available too? Oh man, what?
Yeah, man. So me and TA, my man, shout out to my man TA. We linked up like, oh yeah, we out there. Went out there, man, and listen. I spent 3 years in Lindenwood. I had to sit out the first year. I played the second year. Soderbergh first year was my last year. Played up under him. Really good coach. He got some questionable characteristics about himself, but he's a really good coach. And then I had to finish my last year. And listen, man, you know, as far as a single man and doing single man things.
Oh man, look at this dude, man.
This is the best 3 years of my life. I'm not, you know, just hanging out and being a man on campus, and you know, we was throwing parties and stuff. Like it was wild. But to your point though, like we never like OD'd on stuff. Like we never really like went excessive with anything. We never like, you know, got disrespectful or brought crazy attention to it. We always did it smooth. We always was like, you know, we knew we had a different eye on us in the first place. Like we used to, we was going like on trips to the mall. Like I'll never forget, we was out one time, and we went to a mall because we was out of town, and me and TA went shopping. Like, we went and got clothes and stuff because, you know, the nerd side is and all that's cool. I still got a lot of hustler to me, like a ton of it. So we had money, and you know, the other teammates were just kind of like just chilling. And our coach looked at us. Soderbergh literally looked at us like, "Bro, how do y'all have money? Like, what are y'all doing?" And it's like, we ain't even doing nothing really illegal or nothing like that. We just knew how to get a couple dollars here and there. We went and did like a study in St. Charles, like one of them weekend studies when they tested like the Advil or do upcoming drugs.
Yeah, like you giving out some plasma or something like that, or just some like you just. What? You gotta get it. You trying to get you some little extra dollars.
We had that for a weekend, like 3 times. We got like $4,000 total from that as a college student.
But that's what folks don't understand as far as like when you in college, man, that's some of the best time of your life to be broke. Like you're supposed to be broke. You're supposed to be in the situation where you're supposed to be eating Roman noodles and Pop-Tarts, and because all you're supposed to be thinking about is, can I survive in this little small space with not a whole lot of, you know, overhead, no debt, not a whole lot. All they want you to do is just come to work, hoop, go to class, you get rewarded on the back end. But guys like us, especially if you coming from a city, like you trying to be caught up in that action too, is like, and you 22, 23, 24 years old. So you don't have to make no concessions for folks listening, because I tell folks all the time, like if I had social media, if I had a phone, if I had all of this stuff when I was 18 to 24, I wouldn't be here standing today, because it would be so much stuff that people can be quote unquote trying to expose, or you did this and you did that. It's just different times, you know. So to be broke and being a college student, like you had to find ways to be creative to try to get it. And you had heart to, no matter what, man, my pride level would not allow me to, you know, be too drunk or too sloppy to where I can't get up in the morning and take care of my business with the guys I'm looking across the court from. You know what I'm saying? Is that kind of how like you were?
Yeah, man. Like, I mean, we had a good time, but it was always the basketball was always first, because number one, I love it next to God and my family. Like, this is right there in the mix. Like, you told me I had to eliminate one, like it would probably end up being basketball, but it wouldn't just be like basketball. Like, no, I love this, dog. Like, so I'm with it. You know what I'm saying? Well, everything about it, you know, and like you said, you at the school and I'm not from the other places. Like I come from this place that's just a different place, bro. Like we was raised different. So I couldn't hustle like the hustlers in my city, but I can hustle I'll hustle all of y'all. So I can go to practice at 10 o'clock in the morning to 12, hoop, do that, boom. Oh, we checking into the place at 7 o'clock tonight. Boom, we getting out of there at Saturday night. Boom, we about to throw a party. Sunday, coach want to meet. Boom, I'm back up. Like, guys couldn't keep up with that, and because of where we was from, we felt like we had to have the extra. So me and him, like, and this is honest God truth, this is all verified. My man had the yellow Magnum back then on 24s. I had a 2000 Grand Marquis on 22s. We both had beat in there. We used to drive through campus, and people used to like, man, y'all tripping again. Like, nah, like this is what we do. This is how we behave. Like, this is just who we are from where we from. You know, just like, and we used to be looking like, bro, y'all don't say nothing to the guys with the big pickup trucks. That's from the country.
On,
that's where they from.
The double standards on lifestyles and what we need to do to get ourselves together to, you know, to be us. Why can't we, you know, I understand what you're saying.
Yeah. No. So Lindenwood was a great experience, man. Like, I'm a student there now. I love my university, my alma mater, man. It was the best thing to happen in my life because we moved into houses there too. So we didn't even stay in dorms. Like, you know, back then they had the housing, they still got it now. They had houses for people. So we learned how to be adults then, like even more, like taking care of the crib, cleaning up, washing dishes. Like we did all that. We was just always on the go. And and fitting basketball in there at the same time, I only had to do it for a year for real, because I had to sit out the 1 year for transferring. And then last year I was done with basketball, but I still had to finish to graduate because of transferring and stuff. It just made you become a man, dog. And that's why I be trying to tell them, like, and I think it's the same message you be trying to get to your kids, like, bro, I walked this path. I've taken this test. I've passed the test. This is what you're not hearing. They not hearing me. I've passed the test under harder circumstances than you. Like my mom told me we would go to college, but she didn't tell me about FAFSA and applying for grants and saving money here and there. Like I still got a student loan debt bill that I'm paying off of. I'm in public service now that I can get some of that relief, but you know, I took out all these loans for no reason when we didn't have to. I didn't know nothing about none of that. So
yeah, no, it's and that's why I try to be the coach that I always wanted to be. Or to be coached by, you know, like I to be honest, like I've had great coaches in my life, mentors, even to this day, that I always just, you know, bounce ideas off of, call for, you know, support or just anything that I'm dealing with, because I don't want to make decisions just based off emotion, for, you know, for whatever reason, like I'm under the gun and I got to do this, that, and the third. No, I call me a mentor. A lot of them are my old high school, college coaches, to see, hey, what do you think about this? And just to piggyback off of that, how do you feel about some of the transitions that we seeing nowadays, as far as with the high school coaches and the high school players, really with like the NIL impact? Like, how do you feel about that? What's some hot takes that you can say about that?
Man, get them guys that money, man. Like, I just don't understand it in American society. Capitalism is flooded through everything else except for sports. Like, okay, so these people, they're not sticking up a gun in somebody's face and making them give them money. You can choose to give them the money or you don't. Right? So if you choosing to get the money and he go, my pops taught me this. He said, because he sent me some money one time and I'm giving him the rundown. You know, I was in college. Yo, I'm gonna pay on this, pops. I'm about to get the car some new tires. Well, he say, man, hold on, man. I sent you that money because I wanted you to have it. If you choose to take it and flush it down the toilet, what can I say? I gave it to you. Right? So that's the same thing with these NIL deals. Like, y'all, there's no way Macaulay Culkin can make millions, 12 years old, making Home Alone. He's millions of child actors all over the place. And we know how their stories end up. How terrible some of the stories is. Look at that Nickelodeon documentary if you want to get a glimpse into how messed up child fame is in Hollywood.
Actors, man, they get it the worst, man.
But this 18, 19-year-old basketball player gets some money and y'all, what we talking about? They get the money, it is what it is. And it's just been long overdue that NFL and NBA. Now you're getting into my wheelhouse. This is really my life story.
No, that's okay. But what about high school though? Like, how do you feel about it all trickling all the way down to high school? You think it's needed for the high school player too?
The market says what's needed. If the market is there to get somebody some money, then who is anybody? The person that got the money don't have to give the money. once they decide, like, can't no kid make you give him no money, right? And the way I've always said it is that, because it starts with college, right? Kentucky still gonna get the best players. Arkansas, because they got Calipari, he's still getting the best. Duke still gonna get the best players. What's the difference between the NIL system and not? It's really no different. So in our situation, I still think Chaminade still gonna get the best players, whether they offering money or not. Right. So if the market becomes we gotta offer money, Chaminade's probably gonna offer more money than other schools. Cardinal Ritter's probably gonna offer more money than other schools. The system, Vashon for sure gonna offer more money than other schools because that's what they care about basketball at that level. So they're gonna have people willing to
invest in. Yeah.
So what they're doing it now before the NIL, what is that gonna change anything? The only thing that's gonna help is actually gonna help the schools, like, and not throwing anybody under the bus, but just Normandy. If Normandy come through and they have somebody like, yo, I'm a graduate from Normandy, I got some money, I want Normandy's basketball team to be good. That's the only people that's gonna help. It's gonna help even out the playing field a little bit. Yeah. I just really think that if we're a capitalistic society, truly, then this should be zero problem.
Yeah, I just think it came too fast, it came too easy, and when stuff like that happens, it's like a bubble that's bound to pop. Now, when it pops, who's gonna be stuck with, whether if it's the downside of it or the upside of it? I just feel like a lot of times, you can give folks money, but a lot of if it's not instructions that go along with that, it's going back to the story that your pops told you. You eventually just gonna flush it down the toilet if you don't know either how to manage it, what to do with it, or even know how to even get some more of it. I think a lot of times people just think like, hey, I get this one little big payout for this NIL and I ain't got to work no more. It's like, nah, man, this really when it starts. So you want to continue to get this, you got to continue to work. My biggest thing is that what's going to happen to someone like a coach that has to tell somebody, hey, let's go run these sprints, let's go get better, we got to do this and do that. But then this person sitting over here with, man, tons of money, and he look and said, man, coach, I ain't doing nothing, I ain't running nothing, put me in this game. So you're pigeonholing a coach, or you're pigeonholing a leader in that aspect, to where it's like, damn, I guess I can't tell so and so what to do, I gotta play him. Like, how do you feel about that if that was to ever come up?
So, and the number one thing that needs to change in high school sports is the pay structure for basketball coaches and football coaches. Because y'all people
and teachers and
teachers for sure. Yeah, teachers definitely need a pay raise for sure. But just for example, like, right, I just thought a ballpark figure of how much I get for the year. And this may be accurate, might not be. I get like $7,000 to coach basketball. Right? So yeah, if you get the NIL player, $20,000, he feel empowered a lot. But I know how much time do you put in? When are you off work from being St. Mary's basketball coach?
It's never not off work. Like, I just did a show the other day, was just talking about that. Like, you can't turn this off. Like, it's a lifestyle.
So, and the system is set up the system is like made from like 1977, where the high school basketball coaches just show up in November, coach the team through February. Again, the season back then ended in February too, a lot earlier. I remember our first game used to be like December 7th in high school. Like, so really, yeah, show up in the middle of November, coach through February, and then he was off. You never seen him again. You didn't have any workouts. It wasn't no scout. I didn't get a scouting report till I got to college. You know what I'm saying? Like,
what's that, man? A scout?
What is this? What? Like, oh, real? Like, me as a defender, I'm looking at, oh my God, you told. I'm used to learning all this in real time during the game. Oh, you giving me this information now? Oh, he in trouble. You feel me? That's how I used to look at it. And so the first thing you need to change is, so now you got to pay and empower your coaches. That's got to start there. They have to be secure in what they're getting paid to do. Yeah, I know a lot of us work regular jobs in the school and whatnot, but this is the job, right? This is the job. Is the basketball for us. And so then you talk about the players and they getting the money, and like, so the horror story is going to be the horror story regardless. And I think there's going to be way more success stories. And even for that kid, right? And a lot of times you got to think about the profile of what that kid is going to act like that and behave is. He probably don't have no structure in his life. He probably just happened to just be ultra talented, and he probably not being held accountable at home. Like, he probably out on his own end. Me personally, just me, I would rather that kid get, 30, 40 grand than not get it at all. Like, I will, his alternative life is being broke the entire time and tricking off whatever little money they get in his life. But maybe if he get that 30, 40 grand, something could spark with him. Something, maybe we can get it. Or even if he did trick it all up, at least he got that 6 months of having 30, 40 grand enjoyment out of life at one point.
I think it needs to be attached with something. Like the kid, even going back, and we had talked about this once, a little bit off the screen, but it's about just the branding of either your name or what you're trying to do. And if basketball is, and don't get me wrong, like, if basketball is your dream and you say you want to do this, and folks, the best coaches tell you every aspect of the game, and not just about playing that basketball on that court, but what is life going to look like when that ball stops bouncing? What are some other areas that you can get yourself into? Even just looking behind the scenes of things. You go to an NBA game, man, you see so many people working. Why come you can't, dibble and dabble and get into that arena? I was hard-headed growing up. I had opportunities right off the bat to just, get involved with, university media, university, being part of this team, being a part of that. But my head was like, man, I want to keep hooping, man. I got to keep hooping. I want to try to make this little money over here, and not knowing, like, the play is in the end when the ball stop bouncing, because your window for hooping, you probably got a good 10, 15-year window from high school. Let's say you do play a 30 to you 35. All right, what does life look like after 35 on? So I think a lot of these, when they sign in these NIL, or they have the opportunity to, the business wing of the college or of the high school need to get in them kids' ear to tell them how to set things up, how to set up their LLC, how to set up trademark, and how to set up their brand. And so you can continue to keep getting the bag and not just as a one-off. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely. And that's the thing with a capitalistic system, is that a lot of people gonna trick these deals off. Like, it just, and I say this, I work on the alternative side, like, of education right now. And there's just gonna be some losers, man. Like, that's the part we got to come to grips with. Like, the way the society is set up, it ain't set up for everybody to win. It's just not. And that's a higher, different conversation on a deeper level that we can have later. But it ain't set up for everybody to win. And more than ever, I talk to the guys now, like, more guys are setting themselves up and we call it in Detroit the cheddar bob. You shoot yourself, right? You know what I'm saying? You a cheddar bob. Like, you killing yourself.
They can't get out their own way. They can't get out their own way, man.
It's easy enough for these kids to win at a whole nother level now, man, because, like you said, it's going to be some highly touted, talented guys that get some NIL money, that don't parlay it, don't save nothing, don't buy no business. And there's going to be some regular guys that just stay afloat. They just stay floating down the river. They don't shoot a hole in their boat and sink, and they're going to win, because it's really not that. It's really, so many people eliminate themselves because of that, bro. Just want to be in the streets, like we talked about before, want to not just go home, and they have these type of interests. All this stuff behind us, you got your NWO, which is out cold. He got the NWO joint back there. I got Goku, Vegeta, and Gohan right there. Like, it's a lot of guys have those interests and run away from those instead of embracing it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but they need guys like us again. I think this is real beneficial for, again, just folks being able to hear us talk like this and not being thinking like, like that, like we don't experience other things, that we don't have anything else to say. So just and we end up finishing up because it's getting late. But tell me your what's your philosophy when it comes to just player development versus player exposure?
I'm heavy more on the player development side, especially with the game today. We touched on it a little bit earlier. It's so much harder for you to get to college now. Like you got to develop the skills so you when you do get out there, you're ready to go. Um, we spend you know we spend a lot more time in the weight room this fall than others because I felt like a lot of my kids had personal training and they had one-on-one training or group stuff that they had going on that we really wanted to develop their bodies, their stamina, their minds in that way, conditioning and stuff like that for the season. And then during the season, we're going to, kind of sharpen them skills a lot more because they are with us 100% of the time. But in the fall, they had, one-on-one and group training and stuff like that. And to be honest with you, like the exposure part, you can go to any gym and you don't know who in the gym. Mm-hmm. You never know who in the gym. But if you prepare to perform at all times. Right. Because 9 times out of 10, most of y'all, when they actually show up to your game, they already know about you.
Right.
When the coaches when those cameras actually really start showing up for you, they just there to let you know that they're there. Mm-hmm. They already have verified you as somebody that they want.
Right. So they wouldn't even made the road trip down to watch the game.
Man, listen, me and you both been to Peach Jam. They wouldn't even walk from court 2 to court 4 and wasted their time to just come over there and see you if they didn't think that everybody's there, right? Everybody's there. They wouldn't even waste their time walking from court 2 to court 4 if they didn't already know that they liked you. Mm-hmm. We got to make sure they like you first. So what do we got to do to make sure they like? So, shooting is our heaviest thing, man, because that translates until you 70 years old. Like, as long as you can lift your arms up and do this, you're going to be able to shoot that ball, and you're going to be able to be on somebody's court, on somebody's team at all times, because we always need more shooting. I don't do as much with ball handling. I teach guys, my philosophy with player development is teaching them how to play, not what to play. Okay, so
I like that.
Our offense and the stuff that we run is a lot of pro style stuff where you have 5 or 6 different options. You can go out at every single thing that we do, but you got to make the right reads. And because it makes us a little bit harder to guard now, sometimes you have to get caught up in, okay, we got to win this game, or we got to do what fits this team a lot more, or the guys that you got. But I think this year, speaking towards this year, we got better shooting than I've ever had. The last couple of years, we shot like 23% from 3. The guys I got now can shoot it a lot better than that. And the offense going to flow a lot more because it begs on it. Like you said, a pro-style system begs on shooting. We're not running a high school system where we're going to run these 12 passes and we're going to get a layup. We're not running a college system where we're going to dump it into this big man and we're going to shoot a 2 to 4 foot shot. We're sending 4 to the glass and 1 back, and we're going to try to just, no. We're running a pro-style guard-centric system that creates open looks. You got to be able to make those. So we put a heavy emphasis on shooting, screening, and spacing and lining your feet up the right way when you get ready to shoot.
That's dope, man. Man, JD, man, we're gonna have to keep this going, man. I want to go to Camp 8 podcast. Let folks know how they can get them episodes. I'm gonna end up posting this probably later this week, but I'm gonna chop it up and get it together. But let folks know how we can get that Camp 8 content.
Listen, so stop there first. I'm down to come on with BT whenever. Like we didn't even get into we talked about my
this gonna
story.
Be like 3 parts. This gonna be like a 3-part,
that's
folks,
cool,
man. So just get ready.
Cause I know he got me and him are really 2 smart dudes, and he want to go to the different areas. And we talked about my story. He's not that interested. Whatever, take what you can from that. But at Camp 8, we cover a lot of pro sports. BT's coming on here soon. We're gonna do a little bit of his story like here, but I'm gonna mine the mind of BT, and like you said, make it a conversation where we just talking about pros, college, the business of sports. And like he said, man, if you take anything from this, there's so many people that work in sports that never had a sports background. You know, you can make a living being one of the cameramen, and we wish we knew about that. So I think that's a little bit more with Camp 8. We with these jokes. Like I said, it's a group effort with my cousins. Shout out to Thee, shout out to my brother Hove, shout out to Mo, shout out to B, shout out to Rod, shout out to Frank, shout out to Easy, Merk, EJ, Quail, like the whole camp. We in the building, and we just trying to bring the group chat to the forefront, bro. And I appreciate you for bringing me on. I'm sure all of them gonna mark it in. We're gonna post it on our pages. You can find us in Apple Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube. We all over the place.
Now, before we leave, though, now I got a rapid fire round for you, man. This is gonna be real quick.
I ain't gonna be long winded either, because I can be long winded.
Yeah, because this man, we gotta, man, this is getting there. But all right, so rapid fire round. Okay, who's your favorite NBA player right now?
Jokic.
Okay. All-time favorite